Hi guys, welcome back to VenterAdventurers, and this is Folklore Fridays. Bit of a different setup this week, just because for this video we want to do a bit more early mornings for the topic we're talking about, and due to that in our area it's a bit safer to film inside. There's no point making a fire at 6 in the morning. So on this week's Folklore Fridays we're going to talk about mine folklore. And the reason we're talking about mine folklore, and it's part of the reason why we're up so early, is miners would work long hours, low pay, dark points of the day. But what is mine folklore to people? A lot of stuff has gone on in mines. It's where we dig for precious metals and metals that runs this planet. It keeps us going, from iron to gold to silver. Well, what we're going to talk about a lot today, and comes quite a lot into these videos, is tin. Tin is a metal which is mainly mined in the places of Cornwall, Wales, and some parts of Germany, and across the world obviously. But that's where we're going to focus this video today, on Wales, Cornwall and Germany. Let's get in there first. Then at the end, obviously, I'll give you my opinions and an overview. First thing we're going to talk about is the knocker, or the buka, again in Cornish, or the Tommy knocker in the USA, or the buwaka, or I butchered the pronunciation, in Wales. But what that is a small, like leprechaun-sized fairy class people who are supposed to live in the mines, or come from the mines. If you follow Welsh folklore, they're the ones who taught mining to people. It depends on the way you look. They're either mischievous or they're malevolent, where they're both evil and good. Where they become mischievous is they take stuff, hide stuff, play tricks. Or if you believe some legends, and more evil, where they deliberately trick miners to go into parts of mines, and the cracking sound is them knocking away the wood supports, allowing for stuff like cave-ins. Because at the end of the day, mines are very dangerous. As well as this, let's suppose, if you believe certain legends, the knocking is meant to warn miners of immediate cave-ins and dangers. So when you hear the knocking come from a tunnel shaft in a mine, you avoid it. So in repayment for that, usually, especially in Cornwall, they would leave parts of their pasty from the knocker to say thank you, because he saved his lives. And in Cornwall, some people are said to have seen the Tommy knocker in the mines. And again, this comes back to fear, mindset, dark places, and we'll break that down in a second. But everything with the Tommy knocker is all about respect again. And knockers they can be mischievous, they can be good. Let's break it down. The mine, especially before the advent of electricity, or even afterwards, until the advent of even now, they're dark places. There's no natural light. Unless you're in an open mine, and a lot of these knocker stories come from closed mines. So deep and down into the earth, in a small passageway, using weak supports, which are wood. If anyone knows physics, when wood pushes down, it hears cracks. But we'll break that down further in a second. But because of that, your eyes can play tricks on you. If anyone's seen any shows like Poldark or anything, or even like coal mine shows, you can see what mines are like. They're not the nicest place to work. They're dark, that's humid. Especially in those days, they didn't understand the ventilation well enough. So I think some of these sightings are hallucinations from breathing in the fumes. But again with that, that's what probably explains when they say see a knocker. Again, there's not any natural light. So when people are saying, oh, I've lost this, the knockers have taken it, the likelihood is they've just misplaced it. But they have no natural light. They can't see it. Let's break down the mischievous side now. The knocking. Sorry, guys. The knocking. With the knocking, that comes down to two areas. When you hear a crack in wood, when it's under strain, it means it's welting and it's going to snap. And that can be formed from the pressure above. So if you were using, say we were in a mine, and this was our support, and the table's underneath, the more wood that would go onto this, more pressure from what's above us, the harder it's going to be to support. So the knocking will be from the wood slowly cracking. So as they say, the knocking comes before the cave-in. It does, because the wood's welting. It's about to crack. It's going to smash, it's going to splinter, it's going to go everywhere, and that's going to cause it to cave in. So again, stuff like the knocker is to explain that, because people can't understand why that's going to happen. Let's move on to the next one. It's called the Cobalt, from Germanic folklore. It's very similar to the knocker, with a few different features. So the Cobalt is more inherently evil. They have it out for humans. Some people say it's because they don't think humans belong in a mine, they shouldn't be there. Or it's just down to the fact that they're just naturally evil. If you go through the stories, kobolds are meant to be expert miners. And if you listen to some, they live in the rocks. But what breaks down is into this. They don't like humans in the mines. Especially mining the tunnels they are mining in. So they're supposed to play tricks on people to cause pain and destroy. So, cause cave-ins, mine collapses, floods, some of the deadliest things to happen in mines. Or to lure humans to false ores. So there's an example in Germany in the 16th century. According to records, not officially saying for kobolds, but if you listen to the folklore, it was because a village in Germany found ore, and they mined it, smelted it, and it turned noxious and killed a lot of people. And they blame the kobolds for this, because the kobolds are supposed to lure unsuspecting miners into mining ores they should leave alone. So, have you ever heard the saying fool's gold? That comes from a story about a guy called Martin Frobisher going north and finding a lot of goldish metal looking ore. He's thinking it's gold, he's taken a load of it back. Turns out it's called fool's gold, which is like about 0.2% gold, meaning it's worth nothing. And this is a similar case of them finding ores in the earth which are poisonous, but also they found fool's gold. You need to have humour or something to explain that, because if you've been slaving all day in a mine just to find out what you've been working on all day is just ruined, you need some humour or you're just gonna cry. Going back to this kobold creature, in German folklore there's only two ways to appease them: sacrifices, so gold, silver given to them, or being respectful. So if you hear them working in a tunnel, you work in the opposite tunnel. Don't go down there, because you get ill, you could die. But again, there's probably no such thing as a cable. In those like dark conditions, you can really scupper yourself by doing mining metals you shouldn't do. Especially if anyone's been to anywhere with these old mines, there's a very brilliant place in a place called Germany called Goslar. You go into a slate mine, and they take you through from the start, so like the 11th century, all the way to the modern times. But if you go all the way up to the 60s, it's very easy to believe this stuff. And like sailors, miners can be superstitious, because you're in a very luck-based industry. You don't know what's above your head. You don't know when that's going to come undone and it's going to fall a massive chunk of rock on your head. So you have to be superstitious, you have to be luck, because sometimes that's the only thing that will get you through a day, because that is out of your control entirely. Okay, so my opinions on it all is, with these mind creatures, they're basically there to explain to people what's happening in mines up and down across the world. Obviously, I'm not going to discredit anyone, but a lot of these sightings and actions of it are before modern times. So I believe it's just the way people get away with explaining what's going on and why something happened. Kind of like realizing, like sometimes when something happens, people try and find something to blame. This is what this is. They can't understand science, because naturally humans aren't built to go underground. We've gone underground to get the stuff we need to build everything, from the camera I'm using now to the stone in the walls outside that's quarried, but the camera in here, your energy, coal, we have gone to that. We have mined to it. We're not actually meant to be doing that, or we'd be evolved differently. So I think it's just a coping strategy for what goes on in mines. If anyone has a different opinion, please let me know. I've been Michael, this has been VenterAdventurers, keep venting.